I'm heading for Dublin, hopefully all going well, with Chantry House for the Racehorse-to-Riding horse class. Great class in Dublin. I've ridden it on a number of occasions. The last time I rode a horse called Binocular, who won the champion hurdle, and that was a great experience. And I think I rode a horse before that Michael Horrigan had. And this year I'm taking Chantry House, and a very exciting horse. Had a good career, won about 300,000, well over 300,000 in euro. A horse that started life in a point. I think Michael Hyde bought him on behalf of JP McManus, and they had a real good whirlwind tour with him after that. He's a lovely, fine, big horse. He's about maybe 17 hands, and put plenty of time into him to get him to this stage. He's owned by JP McManus, who absolutely adores his horses. And in this particular fella, he really loves him. On the way back from Newcastle West show, I got a phone call 15 minutes from home, and it was JP congratulating me and so excited. I said, oh my God, I said, I was so privileged to get a phone call from him, to take that interest. And no matter what his horses are doing, he has a great interest in his horses. And loves to see where they're going, what they're doing, be they retired or having fun later on. In this case, obviously the Racehorse-to-Riding horse class. And he will be there in Dublin if I get there, and which is very exciting. So it's, for me, it's at this stage of my life, it's something to bite into. I turned 71 last week, and to be able to do this, I think, is fabulous. It's just something for me to aspire to, and get to Dublin with a horse is really good. And being there obviously on many occasions, be it showing with the normal horses showing, or be it a racehorse, and to go back again in 2026 is very exciting. It's a big ask for these horses to change their whole lifestyle from racing over a number of years to doing this showpiece. A lot of flat work has to be done. You've got to put a lot of time into them. Some adjust better than others. And the first day I took him to a local show here in Belgooly, I think he wasn't so sure where he was. His last outing prior to that would have been Chantry. So you can imagine what was going on in his head. But he settled well after a while of warming him up, and I had him that day. There was no racehorse class, and he went in a lightweight class, and I was delighted with the way he went. He finished second actually, and but it does take a lot of time and work. It takes, I was riding this horse a couple of times a day at one stage to get him to speed up the process, and but look, we've come a long way, and I'm very excited about going to Dublin on him. Some horses react in peculiar ways. They go to the warm-up on the Saturday prior to the class, and then you go into that ring and it's 5 deep. There's loudspeakers going. It's a huge ask, and you're just praying that your horse doesn't explode. Binocular went in, he was like a saint. He was absolutely fab. And I think it was Robert Power, Puppy Power we know him as. Puppy was doing the riding on that particular occasion. Puppy rode him well, gave him the gallop up the long side. And after that, Binocular decided, to hell with this showing. I'm a racehorse. And it went a bit pear-shaped. But I knew my fate at that point, and I enjoyed it to the full. We showed off a little bit on Binocular. He was standing up and doing all sorts of antics, but I was kind of enjoying it, to be honest. I go to these shows. Showing is a funny game, and if you get upset about where you finish in showing, well then, that's not good. Showing is showing, and you can end up first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or last, and you've just got to take it on the chin. But if I can get to Dublin with this fellow and he behaves and goes well, I will be so delighted. And be it, if you could get a ribbon in Dublin, it would be wonderful. Dublin show means a lot to me. I think the first time I remember going there with my dad, I was very young, I think about 10, and I think it was the worst day of my life. I had to walk around in the heat all day after him. So that didn't go down great. But after that, once I became involved in horses, you know, in be it the show jumping and the rest of it and showing, and I loved it. I always loved going back to Dublin, and who doesn't? I think it's part of our thing in Ireland. If you're a horse lover or involved with horses, Dublin is the place to be. From the best show jumpers, Dublin is where they want to be. To the 12-2s, it's just magic. So going up there is great. I've been involved with Dublin in another code because I did the commentary for the Hunt Chase, if you remember the Hunt Chase, for, I can't remember, 15 years, maybe more. I can't remember, but I did it right up to a few years ago. They disbanded that the Hunt Chase, and it had done its time, I suppose, and I'd always lose my voice prior to the final. I would have to get the crowd to help me, and come on the Killadicks, who's shouting for the Waterfords, and so on and so on. And it was amazing, you know, after the Grand Prix, and the crowds would start to disappear, and John Kyle would be in the commentary box, and John would know me, and he'd say, I suppose you want the mic for a few minutes? I do, John. There you go. So I would start shouting and roaring and say that the best event of the week was coming up. And I'd start saying, get in here quick, it's going to happen, this is going to be amazing. And the crowd would all start going in, Mummy, Daddy, come on, we must go and see this. And suddenly you had a huge crowd. But it was an honour to do that and be part of the Dublin Horse Show. And when they asked me to do it, it was the late Tommy Brennan who asked me to do it. And I had been doing commentary for eventing for many, many years, along with Chris Ryan and a few of the plenty of other commentators that along the way, Raymond Brady and a few of them, and I enjoyed that. International, you did, you know, Punchestown, we did all the top events, we did Campfire, Mill Street, Tattersall's a great event. Oh, we had some great events. To be involved with a horse like this and owned by the McManus family, who love their horses. There's a new generation coming through now. JP has grandchildren, and there's a couple of them riding. Cara, that's Sue-Ann's daughter, has become quite accomplished, and I'm sure they're all excited about this horse going to Dublin. And they take a keen interest, all the family take a keen interest in what's happening. And be it a horse running in Bellewstown, Aintree, Punchestown, Cheltenham, or a racehorse-to-riding horse class doing his thing. So they are so keen and so in love with their horses. And that's why it's so great for me to be part of this journey, their journey. And very honoured to have him. And everybody going there is in the same boat. They're all wishing to do very well. They've qualified or they're getting there one way or the other, and I wish them all well.